So I've got quite a mess here that we're going to go through, and just in a prep for some study that I want to do. Got a lot of books that I've been trying out, a couple of different esoteric type books that I have found and been collecting over the years. And so I just kind of want to go over what my little section of esoteric stuff looks like here, and we'll clean it up and go through it at the same time. So one of the things is journaling and how impossible it can feel sometimes. And I've done a lot of journaling in this book recently. I may be halfway-ish through it, and this has become my catch-all journal. This is just some cheap thing off of Amazon. I think it was maybe $10, and they go on sale quite often. So I've got this one and maybe 5 others. I've got a green one. I've got there's a brown one here, and I've got a black one somewhere. So I've got quite a few, and this is a result of me trying to find the perfect system for me that never seems to work out, because it's a lifelong process of figuring out what works out for you, I guess, and I'm still in the middle of all of that. But I've got these books, and one of the things that I'm struggling with is how linear and chronological these tend to be. And the problem is that I will be writing about something. Say this starts off as my journal. I'll be writing my daily journal thing in here. And then at some point, I'll want to take notes on some other thing that I had wanted to take notes on. And then the next page will be journaling again. And that really throws things off, because now I've got journal, notes, and then maybe a grocery list, and then maybe a whatever, and then back to journal. And so it feels like that throws off the book. And sometimes I just don't want that stuff mixed up. So then I buy another, because I think, if I have 2, I can have one for grocery lists and random notes and whatnot, and I can have one for a journal. And for the most part, I think that works. That's been totally fine. So then I'll think, you know what? There's some notes that I'm taking that are actually specific to, say, my esoteric stuff, that I want to live in an esoteric journal or notebook. So then I buy another book, and I say, hey, this is my esoteric studies book. All things esoteric will be in here. And that kind of works. So then I run into this problem where I want all of that to exist in one book, because I'm not going to carry around 3 different books. And I think I've actually got a 4th one here. Yep. So I've got a 4th one here. This is actually the one I was going to use for my esoteric studies. And I don't think I've written anything in it yet. This is just blank right now. And I'm like, I definitely cannot carry around this book. So here we are, 4 journals in. And then I didn't want to use my calendar on my phone. I wanted to have everything in a notebook, but that didn't really feel like it fit in any of these. So now I've got a journal or a notebook, a weekly planner that I found at Ross for $10. And this actually I can't start using until August, because it's a mid-year planner. And I think I'll use this. I want to use it, but I probably won't. And I'll tell you why. So the next thing that came up was, put all these back. I had wanted to have a more modular approach to my journal. And so I was looking at 3-ring binders, but I could never find a 3-ring binder that looked nice, that was cheap enough, and met my needs, because I wanted to be able to have blank sheets and grid sheets, and blank line grid and dot grid. I don't know if that's what it's called, and dotted paper, all of those in one. And I thought that would be really cool. So I found that there were actually 6-ring binders, and that's this little guy here. This is full of dotted sheets, and the sheets came separately. That's actually part of what fell on the floor here. I had just gotten these in maybe last week. These are little cardboard dividers, and so I knew I was going to want little dividers in here to be able to separate out the different things. So this has become a modular system where I can have multiple dividers in here, and these first few pages, this could be my journal. And then these few pages, that can be my notes and grocery list. And these few pages, this can be my esoteric studies. And these few pages can be my whatever other thing. And however many times I need to divide that out. I've got the little dividers. I technically don't need to use those, I guess. I could just fold a sheet, or I could draw in here and put little tabs there or something. But the point is that I can very easily take sheets out or put sheets in. I can rearrange sheets. And if I get to the end of where I had designated this as my journal, I can just add more sheets. And my thought was, okay, if this gets so full that now I'm running out of space and I need to expand, I don't actually need to like get a bigger book. What I would do is get a less nice book. I mean, I probably could get the same one. Well, okay, so 2 different thoughts there. Let's say, for example, my journal uses up a ton of pages and I'm actually ready to move that. I could just archive a ton of the pages. So I could take those pages out, archive them into another book just like this, or a less nice one that is actually enclosed or whatever design I find. It doesn't matter. The point is I can take these out of here, archive it to that journal, and then put fresh pages in here, and now I can keep going, and I don't have to keep switching between 4 different books, and I'm not necessarily going to need those archived pages on me all the time, because this is a current thing. And if I ever need to look something up, I go to the archive. So same thing with the esoteric studies. I'm doing my esoteric studies here and writing a bunch of stuff and coming up with ideas and whatnot. And if that takes a bunch of pages, I take those out, archive them into another journal, put fresh ones in here, and I can keep going. But this is where the second thought is. If that esoteric studies gets so big and I do want to keep all of those pages, I could get another journal, move these pages into that one, and now that is my dedicated book. So that's like a natural expansion of getting a second book. But I think the likelihood of me needing the stuff in that is very low. I think what I'm more likely going to need is like a page out of there. And that page is usually something like this one, where this is a reference. So this is all of the major arcana. Or if I need a reference to all of the runes. So I've got all the runes written down here. And I really just want that page. And I don't usually need all of the pages of everything else. So I think it'd be fair to archive those extra pages and keep in here the runes and major arcana and all of that kind of stuff. So there's this system that's just been evolving for me over time, and I didn't realize that this 6-ring binder thing was a thing until I just happened to come across it, and I thought, oh crap, that's what I've been looking for. So this is the first one that I got, and the notebook itself, the binder, is a A5 binder, and that is this size. This is just a standard common A5 binder. It's about the same size. I realize I said this is A5. I think this is actually an A6 binder. Fits A6 pages, which are pretty small pages. These are A6. And this is A5 paper. So if put that here, it's pretty big. Oh, yeah, it's all blurry. But here, I've got the page here. This is a A5 page on an A6. So this is significantly smaller than the A5. And at first, I was pretty okay with that. And the reason why I accidentally called this an A6 or an A5 is because it's about the size of the A5, the binder itself. But the pages in it are much smaller. So when I open this up here and show you a page, we can see, I'm dropping all sorts of inserts here. We can see how much smaller that is. And I didn't necessarily like that. I didn't like how much smaller this page was, but in my mind when I had purchased it, I thought that it was the same size, and I just didn't understand like that sizing system. So then I was looking into, well, I really like this size book. This A5 sized book is the right size for me. This A6 size was just too small, and I'd be writing on it. And in fact, I've got a couple of loose pages here where I was doing some tests to try and figure out how I was going to write in it. And it was just too small, and I didn't like that. So I looked up to the next size. The next size up is the A5, and coming from the A6. So that is actually in my that's actually in my bag that I carry around. So that's this guy. This is my bag. I've had this for, I don't know, maybe 10 years, 15 years, something like that. I've had it for a very long time. And in here I have the book that I'm currently reading, Fourth Wing, and I have the notebook that I use for my writing. So what I ended up doing is finding the next size up from A6 to A5. I'm going to show you the difference there. This is significantly bigger. The A5 size book is significantly bigger. And I don't particularly like how big this one is, because although these are A5 sheets, same size as this one, the pre-bound book, same size. The actual binder that contains the pages is, whoops, just dropping everything here. The actual book itself is significantly bigger than the binder, and it's hard to tell here. I mean, this is maybe 3/4 of an inch, might even be half. No, it's definitely 3/4 of an inch. So like it's significantly bigger. And but I'm getting the same page size. I think a part of this is just my choice of notebook, where this one has like a fancy pen holder tab right here, and it's got like this stuff for my cards that I'm never going to use, and it's got a little sleeve here that I'm never going to, a little pocket here that I'll never use, and I don't particularly care about that. So maybe I could find a smaller notebook, and that would be great. But it's still 6-ring bound. I've still got, I actually already filled this with, I've got lined paper. I've got my, what do you call it? Grid paper. I've also got dotted paper. Oh, actually, I don't have the dotted paper yet. I'm still waiting on that. I've got the blank paper. So, and I can move that stuff around, you know, unclip this, move it around where I need it to be, right in my, use the line paper for my journal. I can use the grid for drawing stuff, the dots for whatever. Like, this is the kind of modularity that I'm looking for. But the form factor is a little bit bigger than I wanted it to be. But I think it's still usable. And so the thing is, I've got this A6 one. What do I do with the A6 one? I mean, maybe give it to one of my kids, let them write in it. I think I'm still within the Amazon return window. I could probably just return it. I've got the little A6 sheet separators that, yeah, I could pull this one out. I could probably return all of this to Amazon and save myself $15 or something. Because I do think I'm the kind of person that I want to commit to like one thing. I don't like having all of these different forms of writing. I really want to commit to just one. And I'm pretty sure this A5 size is going to be the one that I commit to. And so, yeah, just kind of a weird journey. But, and then I get, you know, this huge one because I just love how big this is. And the thing is, I just don't know what I'm going to write in it. I think I had an idea of what I was going to do with it when I bought it, but I'm not carrying this thing around. There's no way I can. And then my mother-in-law got me this book, which is amazing. It's super cool. This thing unfolds. It's got a little key on it, and the pages are like all worn. And I love this. This is very, very cool. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. And because this falls into that same problem with me where it's linear or it's chronological or whatever, and I'm just not sure what I'm going to write in it yet. I had the idea to use it as more of like a scrapbook kind of thing where I would glue you know, concert tickets to it, and there's a name for this and I can't remember, like a junk journal, I think they call it. I've been seeing it all over social media and whatnot, but I think that'd be pretty cool for this because the pages are pretty thick and I think they could handle glue really well. So there's that kind of thing. There's these bunch of different journals that I've got. And so the other type that I've got here is just this, literally just notebook. That's it, I guess. So this, I've only got like 3 pages written into it before I stopped because I ran into that exact same issue. I'm like, you know, I'm writing all of this stuff down and I'm writing down these references to runes and arcana, the major, minor, the tarot stuff. And I'm like, but I kind of, I want this with me so that when I have this book with me and I'm driving around and I stop and I get to take some notes, I go somewhere, get to take some notes, I want to be able to see my runes right here. And I'm not carrying this book around me to see that. And I am not great at memorizing things. I'm not like, I recognize the different runes and I remember what some of them mean, but not all of them. And I carry around my little bag of runes and I draw them and I write about them, and I just want that with me. So the thing is, I'm going to use this journal. I'm calling it a journal, notebook, whatever. I'm going to use this notebook as a replacement for my orange one, which became a catch-all. It's going to be a replacement for all of these, because now I can have my separators in here and say these first few pages right now are my journal, and I can write my journal stuff in there. When I want to refer to my runes, I can flip over to the other separated page that has my runes reference to it, and I can have that all right here. And this was such a mind-blowing moment for me when I realized that this kind of 6-ring binder thing actually existed, because that was a huge piece of the puzzle that was missing for me in the way that I wanted to journal. Because I don't want to do these things digitally. I want to do these things analog, physical, and the key here is that these are modular. They're removable, replaceable. I can take one out, move it to the back or to the front or wherever it needs to be. I can take a dotted page or a blank page and move it up and use that just to draw stuff. And I can have this arranged all the different ways that I want, because some of them were like, oh, hey, you should just have dotted pages. And that's why I bought in this little green one, dotted pages, because I was like, yeah, I can totally use just dotted pages and that would be good enough. But then the very first few things that I was writing on the dotted lines were becoming all wavy and just weird on the page, because I didn't have like real lines to follow. I had to imagine the line on the dots, and like, it doesn't look awful, but it's not as clean as I want it to be. And so by being able to have this size with lines or dots, whatever, that really fits what I'm trying to do. And the other thing was this size. Although I love the actual physical size of this book, the pages itself are too small for me. My hand cramps up so fast trying to write on these A6 pages, but on the A5 pages, it's very nice and feels really good to write on. So this is going to go away. All of these are going away, and they're going to be combined into here. And so I think that's going to be really cool. I think this is going to work for me, and I'm just going to have to really try it out. And that's part of why I brought all of this stuff down, because I wanted to clean it up and move things around and really just kind of get all of my esoteric stuff in one spot so that I could go through this exercise. And so what I've got here is this is going to be my primary book. These are basically going away. I'm not sure what to do with them. They'll sit on my shelf, and maybe one day they'll get used or something. But so goes away, and I'm just stacking these into a nicer size. Goes away. I'm gonna leave this out because I want to. I had already previously written my runes reference in here, but I'm going to be transferring that into my main binder. So this is going to go here. And these are just some loose ones that honestly I can probably just throw away now. But I'm going to move these out of the way. And so we've got this. I've got the Have 'em All. These are things that I found at Goodwill. They've still got the little sticker on them. The Celtic Wisdom Tarot. I haven't read through it yet, but I like Celtic stuff, so I picked it up and thought it looked cool. I found a book at Goodwill called Protection Spells, Vibe with Light, and cool, that fits into my esoteric stuff. I'll go through that. I've got Everyday Magic. Again, a Goodwill find. You'll find that I like shopping at Goodwill to find this random stuff. I've got the revised and expanded The New A to Z Horoscope Maker and Delineator by Elwin George. I don't know. I just saw it and thought, oh, geez, it's split in half here. Thought it looked cool, looked about what I'm interested in, so I'm going to use that. I found this the other day. The Crystal Bible has a ton of information about crystals. Found the illustrated dream journal or dream dictionary, a bunch of stuff about dreams. I've got palm reading cards and just a bag of pens and markers and all that kind of stuff. I've got my runes in here. I found this at Goodwill as well. This is the complete book of witchcraft. This is Wicca, I believe. And so from what I understand, Raymond Buckland is like the father of Wicca or something. And I had read through this at some point and was starting to do... I'd gotten... How far did I get? Not that far. I'd gotten to about the part where they had started talking about like rituals and stuff, and is not quite for me. So I kind of lesson 4 is where I stopped. So I was writing in here, and I actually want to go through it again. Now that I'm in a little bit of a different mindset, and it's not that I believe in the Wicca religion or whatever. It's more than that. I just enjoy all of the different religions. I enjoy all of the different traditions, and I just want to learn about all of this stuff. And I see myself more as like I'm just spiritual, and I see myself more as just knowledge and interested and curious, and I think this is pretty cool. So all of this stuff that is esoteric to me falls in that bucket. So that's why I have this. And then this is actually fake coins, fake gold coins. I was working on an idea, and so these are still sitting here, but they're not really part of all of this. And then I've got a bunch of these different tarot and oracle decks. So I found these on, I believe it was Etsy that I had found the first one, the Harmony Tarot deck. And I really like this guy's work. This is Christopher Lee. And so I went and I bought a bunch of other ones. This is a Terrestrial Fauna Oracle deck, the Shield Maiden Rune Oracle deck, and the Pulchrum Floralis Oracle deck. So just different Oracle decks. And they came with, well, they're sold separately, but they have these little books that explain everything inside of them. So between that and the other stuff here, this is like my esoteric kit of stuff, and it continues to grow. I keep finding random weird books about this stuff. I mean, it's crazy. At Barnes & Noble, there's a whole section of this kind of stuff that I'm like, sweet, I want all of this on my wall at home. That is pretty cool. And a lot of this study that I've been wanting to do has been hinging, unfortunately, on me having a solid notebooking system, because again, I don't want to write this stuff digitally. Like, I don't want to be sitting at my computer that I'm already at all day. And I just want to be able to write things physically down, because that feels good to me. That's therapeutic to me. And that's just how I want to study. But I didn't want to do it in a linear chronological style notebook that's already bound. I wanted to be able to move things around the way that I've been trying to explain it here. So yeah, this I had intentionally thought, I came into this thinking that, hey, we're just going to clean this up, but it's turned into this is my journey with journals and notebooks and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking on the next one, we'll just do some studying. We'll see. So till next time.